Welcome back to another class. In this class, we shall be continuing with our discussion on combination. Today will be the last class on combination, and we will be discussing whatever is left over. ঠিক আছে? So let us begin our discussion on this chapter, the final discussion of combination. First of all, আমাদেরকে জানতে হবে একটা particular concept, and to understand this concept, আমরা কিন্তু একটা slowly and steadily proceed করব. Yes, of course, you can ask me, so is it necessary to understand this concept? I would say not much necessary, but at the same time, if you really want to uh, complete answering the questions in a short time, this is very, very important. Okay, so let us start with it, and to start with it আমরা একটা illustration নিয়েছি, so that's why it is written illustration আমরা একবার n equals to 3 নিয়েছি, আরেকবার n equals to 4 নিয়েছি, and we will also take n equals to 5 and 6 just to develop the understanding. আর আমরা এখানে r কে চারটে different figure নিয়েছি, 0 2 3. Why not 4? Because our general assumption for combination or permutation is n is greater than r, or r is never greater than n. It can be equal to n but will not be greater than n. Okay, so that's why even same c over here, r has been taken till 4 এবং সেটাকে আমরা এই লাইনটাতে we have put it as 3c0 3c1 3c2 3c3, আর তারপর আমরা সেইভাবে ক্যালকুলেট করে নিয়েছি। 3c0 comes to 3 factorial divided by 0 factorial into 3 factorial, আবার 3c1 comes to this, 3c2 comes to this, 3c3 comes to this। ওদেরকে সলভ করে নিলে 1 3 3 1 আসছে রেসপেক্টিভলি। ওকে, সেম আমরা যখন 4 কে সলভ করছি, 4c0 4c1 4c2 4c3 4c4 করার পরে we come across this 4 factorial divided by 0 factorial into 4 factorial, then 4 factorial divided by 1 factorial into 3, then this and then this. এগুলোকে সলভ করার পর we arrive at these figures. Okay, now what I want to show is that over here you will notice that if we take this figure and this figure and make an addition of it, this comes to this figure. Okay, is it only true for this? No, let us try to change the color and then try to identify another place. Okay, let's take this number and this number and then add them. See, this comes to 6. Again, let's try another way. Okay, let us take this 3 and this 1, add it, it comes to this number. Okay, তার মানে কি we can write c30 plus c31 is actually 4c1. Okay, তারপর আমরা যদি আবার 3c1 plus 3c2 kori, it actually comes to 4c2. Now if we take 3c2 and add it with 3c3, we arrive at 4c3. Okay, is it only true between 3 and 4? Let's try to check the same thing using n as 5 and 6. Okay, so যখন আমরা n কে 5 এবং 6 এ নিচ্ছি, and again we do the same distribution, same ভাবে যখন আমরা সাজিয়ে নিচ্ছি, we have 5c0 5c1 5c2 5c3 5c4 5c5. Again for 6 we have 6c0 6c1 6c2 6c3 6c4 6c5, it will be 5 and it will be 6. Okay, so what we have over here is this, and then if we solve it we get these figures 1 5 10 10 5 1 for n equals to 5. n equals to 6 থাকলে 1 6 15 20 15 6 1. Okay, now let us try to again check the same thing. Let me change the color. Yes, let's take this figure. Okay, this plus this should be this. Is it coming to this? Yes, 5 plus 1 equals to 6. Again, what if I take 5 plus 10 and add them together? Check, this comes to 15. Again, if we take 10 plus 10, it comes to this number. And so on, if we keep on doing, it is going to come this way. So can we not say that 5C0, which is this figure, which represents this number, plus 5C1, which represents this particular number, that when we add them together, it comes to actually this, which actually represents 6? Can we not say this? Can we also not say 5C1 plus 5C2, that means this A5 ta plus 5C2, which means 10, comes to 6C2? Check, this one plus this one comes to this. Can we not say this one plus this one comes to this? This is our third way of writing. So can we not say আমরা যদি সেটাকে n আর r এ লিখে নিতে পারি, then we can say n যেখানে আমাদের 5 ছিল, just for example n c0 which is r minus 1 n c r which is 5c1 equals to n plus 1, কারণ কি এখানে 6 হয়ে যাচ্ছে, check, 6c1. In fact, this is the concept. This is the formula. In fact, we have just derived it. We have just understood how it came into being. Okay? So remember this portion, that NCR minus 1. That means this particular item plus this particular item will always, if we add, give this item's number. Okay? That is what is represented in much more abstract form. NCR minus 1 plus NCR equals to n plus 1 CR. Okay, and we shall also try to see it mathematically as we proceed ahead. Now, first question এখানে বলা আছে, what is the value of NCR plus NCR minus 1? যেটা তুমি দেখবে যে it's exactly like this, just that এটা আগে চলে গেছে, এটাকে পরে নিয়ে এসেছে. We know that the answer is n plus 1 CR, but then still, why did I put this question? Because suppose you forget that formula. How else can you solve this? To solve this, you need to actually start with the solution. You need to first take this figure, put it over here. Okay, NCR plus NCR minus 1. Then you need to expand NCR, which comes to this item. Okay? And then NCR minus 1 comes to this figure. Then you need to solve it. Solve করার জন্য কি করতে হবে? দেখো ডিনোমিনেটরে দেখো, এখানে r আছে, এখানে r minus 1 আছে. আমি যদি এটাকে এক্সপ্যান্ড করে r minus 1 এ নিয়ে যাই, তাহলে কমন করার চান্সটা বেশি থাকবে, তাই আমি এখানে এক্সপ্যান্ড করে দিলাম. এখানে n minus r আছে, এখানে n minus r plus 1. এবার n minus r plus 1 এর পরের টার্মটা কি হবে? n minus r. ঠিক আছে? So we expand this area, n minus r plus 1 into n minus r factorial. Ebar we take common. What is common? N factorial is common. This r minus 1 is common, and n minus r factorial is common. So we take this over here as common. This is the common factor we have taken. Okay. Now multiplied with what is left over. এখান থেকে এই জিনিসটা কমন নিলে we are left with just 1 by r, আর এই ফ্যাক্টরটা যদি আমরা এটা থেকে কমন নেই, then we are left with 1 by n minus r plus 1. Now we solve this in the next step. This portion we are solving it in the next step over here. Okay, and this remains as it is. This portion remains as it is. Okay, so when we solve, we see that uh, on the denominator r into n minus r plus 1, this is the figure that comes, and উপরে চলে যাবে, এই জায়গায় এটা multiply হয়ে যাবে, and r will be multiplied over here. So it comes to n minus r plus 1 plus r. Okay, এখান থেকে আমরা r কেটে দিতে পারি because this is in minus and this is in plus. Okay, so next step we can write actually this factor, common factor remains the same. উপরে আমরা যেহেতু r কেটে দিয়েছি, it comes to n plus 1 and then divided by r into n minus r plus 1. Now we multiply it. Okay, so n gets multiplied with this, by n plus 1 into n factorial, and denominator gets multiplied with this. আর আমরা কি করেছি, r minus 1 এর সাথে r কে রেখেছি মাল্টিপ্লাই করে, check this out, and n minus r factorial কে আমরা এটার সাথে মাইনাস, এটার সাথে প্লেস করেছি. Okay, so now why did we do this? There is a reason behind. We know that this particular numerator figure n plus 1 into n factorial is a consecutive one. Why consecutive of what? N plus 1 এর পরের টার্মটা next 1 less করলে কি আসছে, n factorial আসছে. So আমরা যদি দুটোকে মার্জ করে দিই, can we not write n plus 1 factorial, n plus 1 factorial? It's almost like this. You have 9 into 8 factorial. So can you not write this as equals to 9 factorial? You can of course write it. Okay, that is what we did exactly over here. Then next, r into r minus 1 factorial, that is actually r factorial, n minus r plus 1 into n minus r, we can write it as n minus r plus 1 factorial. Now এবার 1 টাকে আমরা এই জায়গায় সরিয়ে নিচ্ছি, r টাকে আমরা 1 এর জায়গায় এনে নিচ্ছি. What comes? n plus 1 factorial divided by r factorial divided by r factorial into n plus 1 minus r factorial. So can we not rewrite this as n plus 1 cr? Of course we can write it that way. Okay, so this is the answer. So n plus 1 cr is our answer. Okay, let us move ahead now. Let us try to solve this question. There are 8 candidates for a particular post. In how many ways can a selection be made of 4 amongst them so that 2 persons whose qualifications are below par are included? Now look at this. This is almost similar to what we have done in permutation, but permutation and combination are different. Okay, so we need to be very careful when we are solving this. What are the conditions that are given? How many candidates we have? We have 8 candidates. So can we not write n equals to 8? How many selections to be made? 4. Okay, এটা এতটুকুই থাকতো যদি there were no conditions, but there is a condition. What is the condition? 2 persons whose qualifications are below par are included. এবার যাদের qualification below par, they have to be included. That's the condition. So now, does my n remain same? No. Does my r remain same? No. Okay, that's why it is written in this statement, since 2 persons whose qualifications are below par are to be included, then we can say that the choices to select from reduces by 2. মানে r যেটা আমার number of choices 4 ছিল, আমাকে দুজনকে তো নিতেই হবে, qualification যাদের কম ওদেরকে নিতেই হবে. So does my r any more remain 4? Not at all. দুজনকে যখন ওখান থেকে নিতেই হবে, I'm only left with 2 more choices. That's why we have written revised r as r 4 minus 2 equals to 2. And then 8 জন থেকে দুজনকে তো সিলেক্ট করতে হবে whose qualifications are below par. So revised n is also 8 minus 2, which comes to 6. Then if my n is 6 and my r is 2, how many different combinations are possible? So selections that are possible are 6c2. ঠিক আছে? So the answer for this question is option C, 6c2. Now again, this is the conceptual way of proceeding with the numerical. There is also a formula for such restrictions, okay, which is almost similar to what we have done in permutation. If you look at this formula that I have just put it under a box, uh, this is the same formula that we have discussed in permutation, just that ওখানে c এর জায়গায় p ছিল, okay? But again, if you do it in this way, this is also right, okay? Let's try to solve the next numerical. It says there are 8 candidates for a particular post. It's the same question but with a different condition. In how many ways can a selection be made of 4 amongst them so that 2 persons whose qualifications are outstanding are included? What is the condition? Almost similar. 8 candidates, 4 amongst them are to be selected, but two have to be included who have excellent, outstanding qualifications. Again, the same way, let us try to solve it. We have n equals to 8, r equals to 4, t is equal to 2. But this time we are going to apply the formula. Okay. So applying the formula, what do we get? Applying the formula, we get n minus t c r minus t. Okay. What is this t? T is those 2 persons who will always be there because of their outstanding qualifications. So our choices remain are no longer 8 but 6. And our choices to select and our selection remains no longer as 4 but as 2. So again the answer comes to 6C2. So this is the answer. Let us move ahead with the next numerical. In how many ways can a committee of 5 be formed from 4 professors and 6 students so as to include at least 2 professors? Now this is the condition. What do we understand by at least 2 professors? Can there be a team with 1 professor? Not at all. There has to be at least 2 professors. So we can understand that there can be a team with 2 professors. But can there be a team of 3 professors? Absolutely yes. Why? At least means that it cannot be lower than this number, but it can be higher than this number. This is what the word at least means. At least means, let me repeat, যে at least মানে দুজন মিনিমাম থাকতেই হবে, দুজন থেকে বেশি থাকলেও কোনো প্রবলেম নেই, বাট দুজন মিনিমাম থাকতে হবে। Okay, so applying this, let us try to solve this. How many professors at max can be there in a group? Maximum 4, because we have only 4 professors. Okay, so let us try to solve this in this way. Solution: let professors be denoted as m and students be as n. Therefore m equals to 4. Why? Because number of professors are 4. N equals to 6. Why? Because there are 6 students. We know from the question that r equals to 5. Why 5? Because committee of 5 has to be formed. Now condition is at least 2 professors to be there. That means there can be more than 2 professors. Let number of professors in the committee be denoted by tm. Okay, where m can take the value of 2, 3, 4. কেন এইভাবে লিখলাম? T is going to denote how many professors are there. So একবার t can be 2, so we can write t2. ঠিক আছে, just over here. যখন 3টে প্রফেসর থাকবে তখন কত বেস পসিবল সেটাকে আমরা t3 দিয়ে ডিনোট করতে পারি। যখন 4 প্রফেসর থাকবে তখন আমরা t4 দিয়ে ডিনোট করব। Okay, so when m is equals to 2, it is t2. Number of selections possible are, আমরা এইভাবে করেছি। এই জায়গাটা, এই ইকুয়েশনটা ভালো করে দেখার চেষ্টা করো। What is this MCT? M is what? Denoting the number of professors. T is what? T is denoting how many professors I can choose from. T এর তাহলে ভ্যালু কি হবে? আমরা এখানে T কে আমরা 2 কনসিডার করছি। Okay, over here there might be a little confusion. M is actually 4, so we can actually write this as T. When T is 2, we can consider it as T2. Okay, so M remains 4. M remains 4. T মানে how many professors minimum should be there? 3. Okay, then NCRT. NC কি? N হলো number of students. R is the total number in the committee. But then we have taken already T over here. t can be how much? t এখানে আমরা already t দু মানে দুইজনকে পাঁচজনের মধ্যে already select করে দিয়েছি, so can I select 5 over here? No, this has to be 5 minus 2. That means it has to be remaining 3. How to represent it? r minus t. So that's why you see 4c2 is actually যখন minimum 2 professors should be there, then how many number of students can be there, and this is the way of putting it in a term so that we get the number of selections that are possible when minimum 2 professors are there. So solve করে আসলে এটা 120 আসছে. So we put it as equation 1. Why as equation 1? Because now we also have to calculate when the number of professors would be 3, when number of professors would be 4 তার জন্য. Okay, so we proceed ahead and we put it as t equals to 3. So t3 কে আমরা কিভাবে ক্যালকুলেট করতে পারি? t3 is 4c3 into 6c5 into 5 minus 3. What does this denote? যখন তিনজন প্রফেসর থাকছে চারজন থেকে কত ডিফারেন্ট কম্বিনেশনস পসিবল, আর সেটার জন্য বাকি রিমেইনিং রা স্টুডেন্ট থেকে কতজন পসিবল, ঠিক আছে? This two are denoting that. Again এটাকে মাল্টিপ্লাই করে দিলে and we solve it, we get 60. Again when t equals to 4, it is t4, আর t4 যদি হয় তখন 4c4 into 6c5 minus 4. If we solve it, we get this 6. Now we have equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. এবার এই তিনটেকে যদি আমি সাম করি, if we make a total of it, then we get the total number of selections possible, which is 186. Okay, now if it is 186, then what is the answer from here? The answer is option A. Option A is the answer. Okay, this is the answer. Let us move ahead to the next numerical. It says a man has 7 friends. In how many ways may he invite one or more of them to a party? Now think about it. A man has 7 friends. What is the condition? In how many ways may he invite one or more of them? One or more. তার মানে কি হতে পারে? ও একজনকে ডাকতে পারে, ও একসাথে দুজনকে ডাকতে পারে, একসাথে তিনজনকে, দেন একসাথে চারজনকে, একসাথে পাঁচজনকে, একসাথে ছয়জনকে, একসাথে সাতজনকে. So there are 7 different possible ways in which he can invite them. Okay, so there can be one invitee or 2 or 3 or 4, 5, 6 and 7 invitees. So there can be 7 different ways of inviting them, which can be rewritten as এই যে এখানে ইকুয়েশনটা দেখো, 7c1 যখন সে একজনকে ডাকছে, 7c2 যখন সে দুজনকে ডাকছে, 7c3 তিনজনকে, 7c4 চারজনকে, 7c5 পাঁচজনকে, 7c6 ছজনকে, 7c7 সাতজনকে. Now if you expand all of this and make an addition, you are going to get something like this. Then when you solve it, you get 7 plus 21 plus 35 plus 35 plus 21 plus 7 plus 1, and we get the answer as 127. So we know that the solution to this numerical is option B, 127. Let us move to the next numerical. In this numerical, it is written a man has 20 acquaintances, okay, of which 12 are relatives. In how many ways out of them he may invite 13 guests so that 9 of them would be relatives and 1 his best friend? এটা দেখতে হয়তো complex লাগবে, but let us think about it logically. How many total guests he has on the list? 20. 20 এর মধ্যে 12 are relatives, and that means বাকি 8 জন কারা? They might be his friends. Okay, and out of that 8, 1 is his best friend who needs to be invited. Okay, and again out of 12 relatives he has to invite 9 of them. Okay, so how to proceed ahead with this question? Let's check this out. Let relatives be denoted by M and friends be denoted by N. So we have M equals to 12, N equals to 8. Okay, r equals to 13. Why r equals to 13? Because 13 guests are invited. And t equals to 9. Why is that t equals to 9? What does t denote? T denotes the number of relatives he has to invite at minimum. Okay, now since his best friend will always be there, hence 1 out of 13 selections are already done. এই কথাটার মানে কি? এই কথাটার মানে হলো ওর 13 জন গেস্ট থাকতে পারে, বাট দেন এখানে কন্ডিশনটা দেওয়া আছে one of his best friend will be there. That means, do I need to invite আরো extra 13? Not at all. 13 এর মধ্যে আমার best friend will always be there, so I have 12 more options left. So that means remaining 12 need to be made. That means remaining 12 selections need to be made. Hence, তাই লেখা আছে revised r equals to 13 minus 1, which is 12. And revised n কি হয়ে যাচ্ছে ফ্রেন্ডসদের জন্য, যে এই যে n equals to 8 ছিল, বেস্ট ফ্রেন্ড কে তো অলওয়েজ আমি রাখছি, so will my n be 8 anymore? Not at all, it will be 7. Okay, hence the number of ways in which guests can be invited are mct into nc r minus t. কেন এখানে mct লিখলাম? Let us try to understand this. এই সেকশনটা ডিনোট করছে কি রিলেটিভস। আমার রিলেটিভস কত আছে 12, so 12 রিলেটিভস এর মধ্যে আমার মিনিমাম কতজনকে ডাকতে হবে 9, so that's why 12c9, which has been represented as 12c mct, okay, multiplied by ncr minus t. মানে লজিক্যালি দেখো, rest how much I am left out with? Best friend তো always আছে, ওকে বাদ দিয়ে দাও, ওকে কনসিডারেশন এখন এনোই না, because he'll always be there. So now we have 7 রিমেইনিং থেকে আমার কতজনকে ডাকতে হবে? 9 জনকে আমি অলরেডি ডাকছি, আমার আরো এক্সট্রা টোটাল কতজনকে ডাকার কথা ছিল 12, 12 থেকে আমার 9 জনকে আমি অলরেডি ডাকছি, তাহলে রয়ে গেল কত? এটা আসবে 3. ওকে, তো এটা যদি আমি সলভ করি, 12c9 comes to 12 factorial divided by 9 factorial into 3 factorial, or 7c3 comes to 7 factorial divided by 3 factorial into 4 factorial, which if you solve, the answer comes to 7700. So answer is C. Let us move to the last numerical for today. Over here it is written, from 6 bowlers, 2 wicket keepers and 8 batsmen, in how many ways a team of 11 players consisting of at least 4 bowlers, 1 wicket keeper and at least 5 batsmen be formed? তোমাকে চয়েস দিয়েছে, 6 জন বলার আছে, 2 জন উইকেট কিপার, 8 জন ব্যাটসম্যান, আর তোমাকে 11 জনের টিম বানাতে হবে, কিন্তু ওখানে আবার কন্ডিশন কি আছে? at least 4 bowlers, খালি একজন উইকেট কিপার, আর at least 5 batsmen be formed. Now let us try to see it in details. Solution এ দেখো ফার্স্ট লাইনটা কি বলছে, we need to select at least 4 bowlers, যেটা এখানেই বলছে কোশ্চেনে, 1 wicket keeper and at least 5 batsmen, that totals to কতজন? 4 bowlers যদি আমি মিনিমাম নেই, 1 wicket keeper নেই আর 5 batsmen নেই, then 4 plus 1 plus 5 equals to 10, কিন্তু আমাদেরকে টিম 11 জনের বানাতে হবে, so that means that extra one player, ওটা কোথা থেকে আসতে পারে? It can be from bowlers, it can be from batsmen. তার মানে একবার এটা বলার থেকে আসতে পারে, তখন ব্যাটসম্যান will be 5, বা আরেকবার সেখানে ব্যাটসম্যান থেকে আসতে পারে যেখানে bowler will be 4. So এটাই লেখা আছে next line. From here there can be 2 situations where there are 4 bowlers, 1 wicket keeper and 6 batsmen. এটা one situation. আর এক জায়গায় আমি ব্যাটসম্যান কে 5 রাখলে তখন আমার 5 bowlers হয়ে যাচ্ছে, 5 bowlers, 1 wicket keeper, 5 batsmen. So number of different selections that are possible are, in how many different selections are possible? Check this out. I am giving only 2 underlines. Why? কারণ কি এই যে প্রথম যেটা আন্ডারলাইন করলাম, this section denotes এই particular point when there are 4 bowlers, 1 wicket keeper and 6 batsmen. So 6টা বলার থেকে আমাকে 4টা সিলেক্ট করতে হবে, so that's why 6c4. দুটো উইকেট কিপার থেকে একজন সিলেক্ট করতে হবে, that's why 2c1. then next 8 জন ব্যাটসম্যান থেকে আমাকে 6 জন ব্যাটসম্যান সিলেক্ট করতে হবে, that is 8c6 plus 6c5, মানে 6টা বলার থেকে এই যে এই কেসটা 6টা বলার থেকে আমাকে 5 জনকে সিলেক্ট করতে হবে, দুটো উইকেট কিপার থেকে একজন, আর 8 জন ব্যাটসম্যান থেকে 5 জন সিলেক্ট করতে হবে। Now if you solve this out, এটা হয়ে যাবে তোমার, এটাকে এক্সপ্যান্ড করলে এই জিনিসটা আসছে, আর এটাকে এক্সপ্যান্ড করলে এটা আসছে। And now if you solve it, this comes to this is actually plus, and then এই particular জায়গাটাকে সলভ করলে okay it comes to 672, এই যে particular জায়গাটাকে সলভ করলে it comes to 840, and then the answer is 1512. So here the answer would be option D, 1512. Well, this is where we conclude our discussion for today. Hope it was all understandable, and in the next class we are going to start a new chapter. Thank you.